Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. And today I'm going to talk about Notre Dame's wide receiver and tight ends for this upcoming 2021 fall season. Notre Dame had a pretty decent unit last season that consisted of Ben Skowronek, Javon McKinley, and then they had a little bit of Avery Davis in there, a little bit of Joe Wilkins. Braden Lenzy had some touches, but it was really primarily Ben Skowronek and Javon McKinley. Well, they are gone. And then the tight end position, Brock Wright was the starter. He was not really the starter. They just said that due to seniority. Michael Mayer got most of the snaps, and Michael Mayer is the future of the position at Notre Dame. He was a 5-star in the 2020 class. Tommy Tremble is also there. He was primarily used for his run blocking, and that will most likely propel him to a day 2 or early day 3 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. Brock Wright, I do not expect to be drafted. Maybe undrafted free agent. But this year it's pretty much just Mayer. You'll see George Takos a little bit. You might even see a little bit of Kane Barong and Mitchell Evans. There are a lot of guys that are unproven. And then at the wide receiver position coming into this year, you will see a lot more of Avery Davis. Kevin Austin is returning after 2 bad injuries this past season and this past offseason. You'll see some more Joe Wilkins. You'll see some more Braden Lenzy. This is a huge year for both Joe Wilkins and Braden Lenzy if they want to have a shot at the NFL. And then you also see, hopefully, some Jordan Johnson. I think Jordan Johnson could start 5-star in the 2020 class. And then I definitely expect Lorenzo Styles and Deion Colsey to get some minutes, maybe even Jaden Thomas as well in some blowouts. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of new faces, some more speed guys, which Notre Dame needs. Notre Dame is lacking those speed on the edge guys. Lorenzo Styles will fill that void. And there are a lot of 2022 recruiting names we'll talk about that can provide that speed off the edge for Notre Dame. I'll talk about that in my wide receiver specific recruiting video, which will come out in, I expect, 2 or maybe 3 weeks. But yeah, Avery Davis, Kevin Austin, Braden Lenzy, Joe Wilkins, Jordan Johnson, maybe a little bit of Colsey, maybe a little bit of Styles. I'd say that's your probably top 6. Might be wrong if there's anyone I'm missing. Make sure you drop it down in the comments below, because I might just be completely blanking on somebody. But it's a simple video. I'm just highlighting who I think will do what. Avery Davis has done a really good job playing the slot. Braden Lenzy's kind of that speed burst guy, trick play capability. And Kevin Austin is just, he's not huge. He's not Chase Claypool. He's not Miles Boykin, but he's a bigger body and just a more well-rounded receiver. Kevin Austin was a high 4-star recruit. Back, I believe he was in the 2017 class, might be the 2018 class. I might be wrong. This is all off the top of my head, but it just had a rough start to his Notre Dame career. Had a little bit of early action, suffered an injury. Going into this season, he was projected to be the number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. And then I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks before the season started, broke his foot at practice, was sidelined, came back for the Florida State game, and then reportedly he re-broke it during the Florida State game late in garbage time. And that really shut him down for the season. Some said he could have came back for the Alabama game. I'm not going to point fingers. I don't think he would have. I don't think he should have. But he's back and healthy for this season. I believe they did do surgery on it the second time, maybe not the first time. This is off the top of my head. But dangerous guy there. Braden Lenzy, if you remember, he had that huge tone setter play against USC back in the 2018 season. 2019 season was a little sloppy, I'm not going to lie. But the 2019 season was supposed to be huge for him. Had a hamstring injury early in the year, played through it, was out for the Clemson game, came back, or he hurt it in the Pitt game, came back, hurt it again in the Bama game, and the Bama game is the Bama game. They had no game after that, but still just played through a lot of small injuries that just lingered throughout the season, so you can't blame him. But this year is really his big year. If he doesn't have a good season, I'm not sure if the NFL will take a look. And then Avery Davis. Avery Davis had a very, very weird year. I'm not going to lie. Started off pretty much playing no snaps. Got adjusted more into the lineup as the year went on. Ended up playing a huge role in the Clemson game. Had a few catches in the North Carolina game, which was probably Notre Dame's second toughest game, But yeah, Avery Davis played a huge, huge role, especially later in the season. The Alabama game, though, was just not his best game. Had a few drops. He had a few drops in the ACC championship game. I remember there was a third and medium over the middle, little slant route, and he just dropped it, just plain and simple, and that was huge. That was a killer. And so, yeah, Avery Davis, coming off a fine year, if he would have kept that momentum from the Clemson game going, it would have been a fabulous year, in my opinion. Joe Wilkins had a few touches early in the Duke game, or early in the year. I'm a big Joe Wilkins fan, actually. I think he deserves more playing time, and I think he will. I believe he's the tallest current wide receiver on the roster. I might be wrong. I believe he stands at about 6'3.5" or 6'4". So he's definitely a guy to look out for. And then Jordan Johnson, the guy that everybody hopes gets playing time, 2020 5-star. He saw his other top 100 players in that class, Chris Tyree and Michael Mayer, get a lot of playing time, get a lot of touches, and he wants the same, and I don't blame him. I'm going to be honest, Notre Dame fans. There are two of you currently watching live. If Jordan Johnson gets limited snaps this year, I'm talking maybe 2, 3, 4 snaps a game, I would expect for him to transfer. He's a 5-star. He's wanted pretty much everywhere. Now, Brian Kelly does like I'm not going to shame Brian Kelly for this, but he does like to take his time with these young freshman players. Now, I think Jordan Johnson just has so much talent, you can't keep him off the field, but whatever. Brian Kelly said there were some traits he was working on, off the field stuff, whatever. But it's year 2. Jordan Johnson is definitely talented enough, and I really hope Jordan Johnson has a big, big year, as I think all Notre Dame fans do. And then I'm going to talk about Lorenzo Styles and Deion Colsey kind of together. They're two high 4-star wide receivers. Lorenzo Styles is more of a speed guy. He's from Pickerton High School in Ohio. And then Deion Colsey from Athens Academy in northern Georgia. Deion was a decommit, recommitted. Lorenzo Styles was on flip watch to Michigan and Ohio State. Back in the spring, once the pandemic shut everything down, wanted to take a visit to Michigan. He couldn't, and that was all that. So two guys that are very talented, had so much interest from pretty much everywhere around the country. But they're both in this class, and I both see them getting at least 5 or 10 catches this year. I think Styles is better than Colsey. I personally like Styles' game more than Colsey, but I actually think they're both NFL players when push comes to shove, and I think Lorenzo Styles could legitimately be a round 1 or round 2 pick. I'm a huge fan of Styles, and I think Deion Colsey can really be the next Chase Claypool. And I'm going to move on to tight ends really quickly. Michael Mayer is, of course, going to get probably 80% of the catches from that position. He's going to be on the field pretty much every play. And then behind him, it's pretty much unknown. George Takos could get a little bit of action. Mitchell Evans, the 6'7", 250 jumbo tight end from Ohio. Even Kane Barong, 3-star. I can't believe I'm saying 3-star with Kane Barong from Hartwell County, Georgia. These guys, there are a lot of unknowns behind Michael Mayer, and I think that's okay. Michael Mayer, of course, is the stud. He is the best player maybe on this offense, and he's the guy that's going to be the first-round pick in a few years, and he's the guy that's going to get the 50 to 60 catches if they need him to. I'm a huge Michael Mayer fan. And yeah, it's Michael Mayer at the tight end position. And then if I had to name starters right now, I'd go Kevin Austin, Jordan Johnson, Avery Davis. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. Make sure you like and subscribe. And that is it from me.